These are the 32-inch raised Vego garden beds. Not gonna lie, it took me maybe a month and some change since I got them. Could it have been done sooner? Yeah, if I followed instructions. So for whoever's watching this video, follow the instructions. I know it's been a hell of a long time, but that's because I'm on a reset. I wouldn't say a spiritual journey, but just a reset in my landscaping and gardening lifestyle. Today we're going to be doing a new build. I'm going to be building the Vego Garden, however you pronounce it. I have the 32-inch raised beds, about the same height as this one right here. And I'm going to be placing them alongside. So one on this side, one on this side. This video will be a 3-part series. This video will be a 2-part series. One just to build, and then the second one is how I plan on filling it. You've probably already seen how I plan on filming it, or how I plan on filling it. I'm going to be doing a hugelkultur method. So a lot of this stuff here is from the stuff that I got from my yard. Chopped down a palm tree. I have some cuttings from a mango tree. I'm just gonna be filling up the bed with that kind of stuff. And then I have these potting mixes that I got for a great deal from Walmart. Each bag was $5.50. And then inside these black bags are mulch that I got from a local pickup area for free. So the probably most expensive thing for this garden reset would be the beds themselves. I believe the beds were like $200 and something. And then I spent $41 for, I think, 14 raised bags, if I'm not mistaken. And I got these bags here for free. I have a time lapse going so you can see the entire build process, and I'll jump in every now and then to give an update about the build. All right, so this is me taking everything out of the box. I'm gonna go ahead and put the camera down just so I can get everything out, because I'm pretty sure people would want to see an unboxing of what's inside the Vego Garden raised bed. This is the olive green color to match the same color I got over here. All right, so everything is pretty nicely packed. We have the extension rods, A and B, for 3-foot use, for 2-foot use. So I don't think they both will be used. In this instance, I'm going to be doing the 2-foot wide. So I'll put that to the side. A little manual on how to build it, and the 10 different ways, or the 10 different style kits of how to build this. And it looks like, they have assembly videos. So yeah, so if you scan the QR code, I'm sure it'll take you on how to build it. But I think it's pretty straightforward, but that's the whole point of the time lapse, is to see how long this will take. That way you have an idea. The bed size I'm going to be building is 2 feet wide by 6.5 feet long. So that'll give me plenty of room to grow all different kinds of vegetables and whatnot. So let's see. So we have the panels here. These are the curved ones. Ooh, stickers. I love stickers. There. And then you have the other panels right here. I do want to say that this box isn't light, so if you don't really trust your strength, definitely have someone help you along with this. It's supposed to be screwed somewhere. There we go. Hardware and safety edgings. That's what we're going to need to put everything together. Oh, it's nice. The bag says that it's fully compostable, so I'll probably be adding that It's my little tumbler over there. Thick. But all right, yeah, and these also have like plastic on the side, so you don't. So damn, that kind of sucks. Whatever. I mean, this is going to be in the garden, right? So of course it's bound to get scratches and stuff like that. But I'll probably end up taking this plastic off before I put everything together, because the mistake was made of trying to put this together and not being able to take the plastic off, or sort of taking the plastic off, as you can see like right there. Overall, this process is 10 times easier with 2 people. Can be done with 1 person, probably take maybe 40 minutes longer. I think the biggest thing that we forgot to do was taking off the plastic on the inside, because you can see the plastic on the outside clearly when it's first shipped, but we were halfway through the build and we forgot to take the plastic off the inside. Oh yeah, my dad decided to come and help. I was going to do this as a solo project, but he loves projects himself, like father, like son. So yeah, so we divided and conquered. So when this was like 95% done, he started taking off the plastic from this one, so we can put it together. At the end of it, the beds are going to be replaced. Well, actually no, these beds are going to stay here until they fall apart completely. But I didn't want to sit here and build this bed again. Built this bed in around 2021, whenever COVID was really happening and everybody was locked down. I was one of those guys that went to Home Depot to get a bunch of wood to build raised beds. But yeah, so this is the 32 inches high, 6 feet in length, 2 feet wide. We did have 2 extra panels left over, so it could have been extended up to 8 feet, but the space that we have it going in, which is going to be connected to this one over here, well, not connected, but like side by side, forming like a U shape, is roughly 6 feet, because I didn't want to have to disturb the bananas and stuff like that. Just finished the second bed. We're probably gonna do a quick level just because it is on a slight decline. So there we have it. That's the other bed. It's gonna go on that side over there, and then all this stuff right here is gonna be in the middle. Let's grow. Okay, so for full transparency, I've been working on the beds for probably the last month, or more so like neglecting it. I made the mistake of throwing some parts away, and where is it? I had to go and purchase the rods. I thought everything was done until I realized that there's supposed to be rods in the middle supporting the beds themselves. So not perfect. I made mistakes. So I went ahead and purchased it, and now I'm getting ready to install them. Yeah. All right. And that's pretty much the gist of the bed being built incorrectly, but sort of correctly. Again, it's having a brace in the middle every third bolt, and then the fifth one. So you'll see here it's 1, 2. The third one I have 1, fourth one, and then the fifth one right there. Both in the middle. And this just braces the bed from bending in on itself. And then now I can properly fill this up because I do have some logs to put inside, these beds. And now to finish the other two. All right, so I just finished installing the braces in all 3 beds. Now it's going to be filling it up accordingly. I'll probably fill it up with debris and yard clippings and stuff like that to like right about here, so just below the second bolt. What is that, roughly almost 6 inches, maybe 8 inches. And then everything else will be filled up with soil and some of the mulch that I have. This is after putting a bag of wood chips inside each one. They're all roughly to where I want it to be. Again, the wood chips were free. The debris that I had to fill the beds were free. Unfortunately, what wasn't free were the beds themselves and the bags of soil that I have over there. But you can pretty much see that all the beds are just about below the second one. Some of them are a little bit right at it. Of course, it'll settle a little bit. You also just want to be careful when you're putting stuff inside, because what happened was I was leaning on this a little bit too much, and it did bend in. But hopefully, once I put some soil in, it'll bend back out. But if not, not really too big of an issue. The beds are pretty much full, not all the way up. And the funny thing is, I didn't plan for this, but I have 3 bags of potting mix left, and I just so happen to have 3 beds. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab another bag of my wood chips and just try to spread them out evenly, just 1 bag essentially, just to give me a little bit more height for the beds. I also have to take into account that it'll probably drop down a few inches once it starts to settle in. So maybe I use the 2 bags of mulch to get ready for that, or I just use 1 bag. Well, let's see. I'll put 1 bag divided by the 3 of them, see what it looks like. And then from there, I'll make the decision if I want to use a 2nd bag before putting in the rest of the potting mix. This is what it looks like after putting that 1 bag of mulch in all 3. My only concern now is that I might not have enough soil or potting mix for the plants to grow healthy, because what might end up happening is the plants, they start with the soil that's going to be on top, and then once they start to reach down, they'll be like, oh crap, there's no soil here, what am I going to do? And then eventually end up dying because they couldn't get a grasp, or they couldn't absorb the nutrients from the soil. Alright, so this is after I filled up the raised beds with a bag each. It looks pretty good. Only time will tell. So it's not all the way to the top, which is fine. I mean, ideally, maybe another bag and a half for each bed would fill it up to exactly where I want it. But I think I'll be content, especially since my older handmade raised beds are this low. And I can't even tell you the last time I refilled it, but you know, they're obviously still growing. This is my passion fruit vine. But you can just see how low they are. And they're still growing without a problem. And Scotch bonnet. A pineapple bed with sweet potatoes on the back end. But yeah, I mean, it looks nice. These are the 32-inch raised Vego garden beds. Overall, so that is the Vego Raised Bed build. Not gonna lie, it took me maybe a month and some change since I got them. And that's just because one, time, and then the other, I threw the parts away and I had to wait for that. Was it an easy build? Could it have been done like I initially estimated in the beginning of the video, like a month ago, whatever I said? Could it have been done sooner? Yeah, if I followed instructions. So for whoever's watching this video, follow the instructions, take your time, and then I guess like after you're done building it, you'll understand if you have to build the next one. But just double check everything. Also, another thing that I would say when it comes to building these raised beds, if you are going to go the hugelkultur method with, you know, whatever plant debris you can find, make sure you have that stockpiled first. That way you can do everything pretty much in one day if you want. If not, you can build the raised beds and go about it as you need. But ideally, you want to be able to, you know, fill the beds up and get growing right away. You know, only time will tell how these beds are going to do. I think they'll be fine. Probably the hardest part of the entire thing would be putting these little rubber things on, you know, to protect you from getting cut or whatever. And then just filling up the raised beds. But overall, I mean, we'll see. It's the area that I'm growing that I plan on growing the stuff in is going to be in full sun, so I have to find plants that are appropriate for it. Right now, we're in South Florida, and they're transitioning out of winter into spring. So it'll have to be some warmer climate fruits and veggies that I do plan on growing over here. Next year in the winter, I do want to grow more lettuce. And at the end of the day, the goal is to be somewhat self-sufficient in terms of just buying my own veggies and produce, in terms of growing my own veggies and produce, especially with a lot of stuff that's going on throughout the world and all these recalls for, you know, lettuce and salmonella this and salmonella that, or E. coli and E. coli that. You want to be able to grow your own stuff, and you know, something like this is a little bit overkill if you have the money and you have the space. And I guess if you want to like upgrade to the next step of gardening, this is something that I would recommend, getting yourself a raised bed. It's also sort of like future proofing if you do plan to keep it long term, because you don't have to worry about bending down. It's a lot easier to access the beds from the top as opposed to crouching. And it's beneficial to my parents as well, because as they do get older, they don't have to bend down to grab the cilantro, to grab the lettuce, or whatever it might be that I'm growing over here. So yeah, so only time will tell. Hugelkultur method saved a lot of money, and that's pretty much it. Thank you guys for watching the video. If you stuck around to the end, you are awesome. I truly appreciate that. Feel free to comment on whatever suggestions you might have for future videos, or if you have any questions on how I went about building it, or there's something that I missed, I can probably cover in a future episode. And of course, I'll be also covering the growing experience, just because we know that the last 2 inches or so of the bed was not filled with complete soil. It was a mixture of soil, then some mulch, and then some soil on top of that. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, if you feel free to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. I'm not your parent, so feel free to not do any of those, but I would definitely appreciate it. Also, disclaimer, none of this was sponsored by Vego. I bought this with my own money. Yeah, thank you guys for watching.
Salute. Thanks.